Hey, welcome into this edition of the Gasocast, episode 10, season 2023-2024. You're with at Gaso Mass, at Gaso Blue, and at iFilmHoopers. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. We are dropping all the content that we can on the Texas high school basketball season. A cup of hoops, Blue. You and I just filmed. That'll be out later today. My Recruiting Simplified newsletter goes out on Wednesdays, so that went out today. Gaso Fast Break. We got a fun Gaso extra on deck. Who's the toughest tough guys in the state? And we talk about 30 players from around the state doing their thing. Team rankings drop Thursday, and we just wanted to give you an update on some of our events. Okay, the live periods have been dropped by the NCAA. There's no live periods in April. There is one in May and two in July. May 17th and 19th in Dallas. Make sure you're there. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. And we're going to see kids make things happen.
So hey, Blue. What's the best case scenario for a live period situation? If a college sees a kid and he's like, oh, who is that? What if the event directors that are running the live period know the kid too and are able to sit down with the college coaches and are like, yeah, I know a lot about that kid. Let me tell you more about him. Do you think that helps or hurts the player?
It comes down to the big A, and that's advocate for the kid. And I think that we have we put on our put a lot of mileage on the tires, got a lot of oil changes done. Hey, whoever shows up at those GASOs, we're going to talk about. We're going to find the players. The coach is going to find the players. The coach is going to be with us. We're going to be with the coaches. We're going to be talking about the players. Pretty simple. It's a formula that's worked for 35, 36 years. So let's do it another year.
Going on 36. The state storylines, our favorite segment of the week. My Gaso gossip folder on my Twitter is full. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do record breakers first because this is a long list. And, you know,
might get a cup of coffee. This is going to take a while.
Take your time. So we have a bunch of kids in the 1,000 Point Club that reached last week. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Just tag me. That'd be really helpful. Amari Guerra, San Antonio Holmes, Jacob Broussard, Kempner, Kaysen Hastings, Crum, Dylan Jackson, Pasadena, Dobie, Devin Falk Ramirez, El Paso Eastwood, Tyron Mason, Plano, Jojo McIver, Colleen Ellison, Parker Jefferson, Waxahachie, Jaden Holt, Katie Jordan, Javen Colbert, Decatur, Drew Christian, San Antonio St. Anthony, Dalton White, Magnolia Legacy Prep, Jaden Baxter, Pasadena Sam Rayburn, Aaron Perez, Klein Collins, Cameron Lomax, Frisco Heritage, Malachi Okunbor, Denton Braswell, CJ Vela, CC Vets Memorial, Dylan Batee, Lancaster, Peyton Doolin, Cedar Ridge, Round Rock Cedar Ridge, Malik Archie, McKinney, Noah Mallory, Wiley, and Jackson Thompson, Green Hill. Woo! You boys are scoring the ball.
That's a big
that's where we should have the music in the background right there as you're just scrolling through all those names.
Yes. 1,500 Point Club, Jamal Creechin, Katie Maid Creek, and Jacob Campbell of Howe. Single season rebounding record. Xavier Muhammad is a freshman at Pasadena South Houston. He's averaging 11.7 a game, and he just had a 21 rebound performance. Coach milestones, friends of the program, Zach Micasell at Saxe, 100 wins. Wayne Jones at Houston Episcopal, 700 wins. And Coach Tommy Brackle, coaching the McDonald's All-American game. He's going to be an assistant coach for the West team. Really cool honor. And then random records. Plano East held an opponent to 23 points last week. 23. And Stony Point reaches a 32 straight wins in district, which is a school record. And Blue, you got a nice little anecdote from Coach Thompson.
Yeah, so and Antoine, we're texting this morning, and it's 21 straight as the head coach for Antoine Thompson at Stony Point, and that 32 win streak started though 2 years ago when he was on the bench as an assistant before he was elevated to head coach. So a lot of great things going on for that program.
Absolutely.
And in my Acting Bad episode 1, I talk about a lot of these guys in a little different way, some milestone guys. So be looking out for the first episode of that. Shameless plug. but we have some fun with some milestones. So excited to see a lot of these guys on their list, and there's one that has a bigger milestone than this that I won't say here, and I'll save it for my episode 1 of Active Bad Broadcast because it's a bigger milestone than all these. So let's just say that's really Active Bad, and I'll give him his shine in episode 1. So we'll save it.
Is it what you?
And we don't even know what it is. I don't know what
y'all
it is. Is Mass?
I don't. I didn't pub that. It wasn't in our list, but the Active Bad Broadcast episode 1's coming to you very soon by Michael Timmons.
Yeah, I shot it.
Let's be real. Let's be real though. This is like, it's cooler than all the stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I've got Recruiting Simplified. Blue's got something in the works that's actually going to be incredible. Active Bad Broadcast is going to be fun and hilarious. So tune in for that.
Hey, maybe Timmons
too.
should get. Hey, no. Timmons should get the Acting Bad badge because he didn't even tell us what it is. We're gonna have to sit there and watch it to find out what he is talking about.
So
Hey, come on over.
we talked about number 1, Plano East. We talked about number 2, Stony Point Blue. I'm going to push you into talking about number 3, Beaumont United, and a few other teams.
Right here for the state storylines. Mass, I'll just come straight out. Is that what you're talking about? You want to jump into it? All right, let's go. Having a little fun here. So my storyline is through Region 3. I think I talked about it a little bit last week too with 7 Lakes. But the storyline's got to be talked about a little bit more is that there are 5 teams that are going to be contending for their ticket to San Antonio. And all 5 of these teams, I believe, are in our top 10 or 4 out of the 5. And when you look at these 5 teams of Atascocita, Beaumont United, oh, by the way, they play Wednesday night, Fort Bend Clements, Katy 7 Lakes, and Alvin Shadow Creek, they have a combined record of 120-8. Those 5 combined. The only loss that any of them have in district is United when they faced Atascocita the first go around. So you're looking at 5 teams here with superstars. You know, Cade Dodson at Beaumont United. You have Divine Ugochukwu, Clements, 7 Lakes, AJ Bates, Shadow Creek, Mike Collins, and then Atascocita. You can just name just about anybody that you want to from that team. Jerome Barron is one of their key players, but which one of these teams couldn't match up maybe with a Plano East, a Stony Point, a San Antonio Brennan? That 120-8, they are dominating their city. They are dominating whenever they went out of state. Out of their city to go to whether it was Allen and Beaumont United takes the Allen tournament. Atascocita wins a few along the way. That's some pretty big numbers right there, guys, when you really break it down and you look at the star power that it holds. And that's what you want at state. You want the buzz to be coming from the fans of like, wow, I got to see so-and-so play. I got to see, the top tier players hit the court and the biggest stage of them all at the UIL state semifinals.
Absolutely.
I was following Jim Hicks's tweets last night very closely because Fort Bend Clements won in double overtime.
Yep.
And they have contributed to the 120, but not yet contributed to the 8 yet. And Divine Ugochukwu fouled out in the first overtime, and there was high drama, and Clements still found a way. And that's just a testament to a really good team. You lose. They got a lot of dudes, but you lose the dude, and still find a way to get it done. That's big time from a team perspective.
We could list about 10 more from that group very easily.
So I'll step in here. So this segment is called Just When You Thought You Were Starting to Figure It Out. And 11-6A falls right through that. I don't know if it's me or I was just a prisoner of the moment, but there's been multiple teams in that district that at some point this year, you're like, oh, that's the favorite. And then some stuff happens and like, oh, no, they are. Well, right now, Waxahachie's just running. They started slow. And now they're starting to figure out what have they won 8 in a row, Blue?
Mm-hmm. They're 8-0 district. Yep.
8-0 district. And then So for a while, it was like Mansfield Lake Ridge. They had a great showing at the Allen In and Out. You're like, all right, they're tough, they're physical. But then they drop a game to Waxahachie. Then they drop a game to a name that we're used to talking about a whole lot, and that's Duncanville. And David Peavy and that group over there are starting to really figure it out. And we all kind of knew in the back of our mind that they would start to figure it out. Um,
I saw
they're
this stat this
starting.
morning about them. BJ Davis with 5 straight 20-plus point games, and Caden Edwards has 2 35-point games
Yeah.
back to back. Like,
So they have a dynamic duo, and they both play a game that complements each other. BJ is a versatile inside outside strong bodied wing, and Caden Edwards is just man. He's playing at an unreal level right now. So as of right now, I mean, I guess Wax. I mean, you look at it. Waxahachie's in the lead in the district, but I mean, I just have no idea. So for the rest of district, I'm not going to pick a favorite. And for a while, I was like, the winner of the district is going to be the region favorite. But for now, I'm just going to watch, let it unplay, and I'm excited that that district, a lot of those teams are playing some really good basketball, and I'm excited to see what happens.
hey, the scary thing about that district is even if you win your district, you're probably going to have to play a team in your district a third time to really
Yeah.
punch your ticket. Most likely. No, it's
Yep.
it's not for certain, but that's tough. That's really tough. Little part.
But that's pretty significant right there. That Duncanville goes in there and wins by nearly 20 points at home against Lake Ridge. They split the 2 at home, and it doesn't get any easier for anybody because Duncanville still has to play. They play Waxahachie. They'll be at home, which they obviously lost on the road to Waxahachie a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, it's. I think you might have said it. Is Duncanville going to start hitting their stride right here, and people wanted to kind of push them to the curb a little bit. We beat
Not
them.
so
We
Yeah.
beat.
fast, my friend.
We ranked above them. We're better than them. I don't know
Yeah.
now.
And if there's one team that can blindly drive down I-35 and find the parking lot for Alamo Dome, it's Duncanville. So don't let them boys get hot. And shout out to Brittany Graham, Duncanville's elite content creator. I'm sure I'm not giving her her title justice, but she was like, "So now that we're winning, are you gonna come cover more Duncanville games?" It was never about that, but yeah, there's some intriguing matchups down the line. I'm excited to see Duncanville very very soon. So shout out to that district and shout out to Duncanville to start getting some big time wins.
Tell her to go watch a couple of hoops. The first week of the season, we talked about how I wouldn't be messing with Duncanville the second half of district. But with that, I'm gonna go west here. Zach Day, a player that I really liked, had a great TABC showing. It was the last time I personally saw him. Had a 41-point performance last Friday night. A very talented unsigned senior that can get it going in so many ways. And I was informed by Blue this morning that's not his first 40-point game of the season.
No, he had a 50-pointer this year.
50? Didn't he have 50?
Tough.
He had a 50-pointer this year. He's had multiple 40s other than that along the way in his career at Midland Christian. I mean, the guy just
and it's pretty.
Just throws darts.
Like he can do some things where off of a baseline out of bounds, he's coming off a screen, falling away in the corner and bearing a shot, and you're like, oh gosh, it's a shooter's dunk, it's like he looks at the camera afterwards and said, I told you so. He's just a guy that I like that needs some attention and just does it night in and night out.
Yeah, this is a portion of the year, I guess. Maybe we're past mid-January. We're heading into February, and guess what? Here comes Kimble. Kimble went on a little bit of a stretch there where they lost 7 straight. They did not have an identity. They were, I think, trying to look in the mirror a little bit. I think of the GIF of Spider-Man pointing at each other. It's you. They're trying to figure out who's going to be the point guard, who's going to be the guy that kind of gets things set up. I think they've started to figure that out a little bit. They should be playing for a district championship next Friday night against WTY if everything kind of holds as it should over the next couple of games. I will be at that game on February 2nd. That will be at Kimble's place there on campus at Sprague Fieldhouse. And so they're a team that, talking to Nick Smith, I said, what's been the difference here? And he has just said simply, they're figuring it out. They played some good teams outside of the state of Texas. They took their lumps. He said there's so much youth on this team that they had to learn how to win, basically. And what they have done as coaching staff is that they're using situations in practice to talk through them. They are using reps, and the kids are buying into the defensive scheme that they want to run. They're watching film. So everything's starting to come together for Kimble at the right time. And we know come February and then going into March, they are always one of the scariest teams in the state of Texas in 5A.
Also, did you
Wait,
see
no,
what
wait, I
Jalen
want to go
Dean
first.
Vines?
No, I want no. That was me. No, I want to go.
Okay,
Mass,
go.
he has to be your favorite person because when we're talking about the way we post on X, he's like including people like asking questions of which dunks are better.
Dude just gets it.
He just gets it. I know he's one of your favorite guys, and I've seen a lot of dunks, and every time, like he's going, and I've covered basketball since 2014 in the state, and he's up there with some of the best dunkers and just the most must-watch guys you could possibly see. And I just love the way he takes it to social media, and it's so nonchalant. Hey, these two dunks are pretty cool. Which one do you like more?
And they're
just
like
body bags.
if you had one of those, one of the dunks that he's posted in probably the last like 6 weeks, it would be like a career for me. You know what I'm saying? Blue, have you seen it?
Well, I've seen several of them,
No,
but
no. He posted. I'm trying to choose which dunk was better. And,
I'll post it. I'll overlay it here.
Okay.
So everybody will be able to see it right now.
And these two dunks were just absurd. And I always, if a player posts something really good and really intriguing on Twitter, I'm trying to retweet it as like, hey, this is a great example of, and not everybody can do what JDV does, but this is a great example of promoting yourself. And I remember back a while ago at the Gasocast, or in a Gasocast previous, he posted a dunk, and I responded and said, hey, how's the air up there? And he just said it's windy. And I'm just like, kid just gets it. He gets it. And Blue, I wanted to add to your point.
Take himself too seriously. That's the great part about him.
Yes.
Is that you can have fun with him.
And you didn't mention this part, but they're getting a blossoming star in JDB, and his game's getting more mature. And his game.
We could run down the list of their players that have just been played well over the course of the past month. I mean, it's not, you don't have to be there in person to see that it is coming together, because when you look at the stretch that they've had here, I'm looking at, they did lose to WT White the first round, but they're a completely different team now. And it's like I said earlier, or maybe in a different cast, that hey, this is what it's all about right here. Is this district runs that these guys? It doesn't matter what you did in the first half.
Absolutely, Mike.
Our last state storyline. McDonald's All-Americans were announced yesterday, and Texas had 2 kids get in. Liam Neely, Trey Johnson, both from the DFW area. They always put on for Texas. Any interviews you hear them, they're proud to be from Texas. Trey at Lincoln, Missouri, Liam at Montverde in Florida. I mean, they're Texas kids. We've watched them grow up. We've watched them blossom into stars, and I just personally want to say I'm very happy for their success. And that's just, I know there's a lot of posts on social media about we didn't get any Texas kids in, and there's some kids that we know that might have deserved that nod. But we did get 2 Texas kids in, and I'm very proud of those 2. So shout out to Trey and Liam for their hard work, and just continue to trust their plan, and the plan paid off.
Hey, give him memory. I'll give a memory of one of the 2. I'll give a start. I remember when Liam was in the 8th grade playing at the NBA of GASO during the COVID stretch, and just like he's in 8th grade just dominating these incoming seniors, and I'm like, who is this cat? I remember Derek came up to me. He's like, there's some dude with JJ Pierce. He's amazing. And I was like, all right, let's go watch him. And sure enough, DT was all over it.
I think I'll go with the obvious. The obvious memory was last year, Trey Johnson doing what he was set and built to do, and that was win the state title. Absolutely. And I think that it's one of those, when you look back, if you're a fan of high school basketball, if you were there, obviously his trajectory is NBA. you're going to sit there and watch him go for 30 points on a night, no matter who he's playing with in the NBA, and you're going to remember that you saw him at State and what he gave to the state of Texas, because he's one of those guys that probably belong on the Mount Rushmore of high school hoops over the past 20 years.
Absolutely. Well
Yeah,
said.
and for me, I see these two in Tyler Ralph's gym pretty often. Unbelievable things behind closed doors. The amount of NBA pros that have looked at these two growing up and be like, wait, who are these? Like before they were even big names, they knew. Trey Johnson had a special workout with Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors. Unbelievable. I've also watched Liam McNeely not miss a shot for like 30 minutes in a workout. And just cocky he is, he finishes the drills and just like turn around, step back out of bounds, no looks, cashes it in. The work's there. These guys have worked their butts off, and I'm very proud of both of them. And it's great. It's great for Texas.
Fun segment. Fun segment. I do want to hit on something that's also very fun for us here at the GASO, and we like promoting and advocating for all levels of kids. And I want to do the super under the radar ban. You know, um, we're going to talk about 2025s in this particular segment, and we're going to do 24s next week and maybe 26s the week after that. But who are some guys that are just like way under the radar, who are really good players, who just need to be talked about a little bit more?
I'll tip this part off with Kenji Franklin from Bastrop, Cedar Creek. I mean, he's averaging like 18 points, 11 rebounds a game. He's doing it all for them at Cedar Creek in terms of when his teammate Robert Conrad, oh by the way, that averages about 21 points a game, when he's getting double teamed and they have to swing the ball around. It's Kenji that's bring the ball up and being more of a floor leader. Then he goes inside and he can play with his back to the basket and score and inside against bigger, stronger guys because he can play the finesse game. He can play a rugged game. I mean, he's just a well-rounded guy. He has some attention from ACU and Sam Houston State, but I think with the amount of Division Ones here in the state of Texas, that should pile up more because he's a very versatile guard forward, and he makes it look simple out there just because he's gonna whatever you give him, he's gonna do, and he's obviously a very coachable individual by the way that they have him playing at multiple spots at any given time of a game.
Yeah. I love Kenji. Great one, Blue. For me, Kabari Lewis of Cy Creek.
Oh yeah,
When we're looking at non-district, especially tournament season, on the road a bit in the tournament season, and I'm looking for guys that at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. games where the gym's probably not packed because people are at work and it's a Thursday morning, who's going to really bring it? And Kabari Lewis of Side Creek brought it, and right away, like no matter what you do, if you just bring it, I'm looking at you and I'm going to fall in love right then and there. So you're going to have just the nod for me, and Kabari Lewis continues to get it done. And then I go and look, and Side Creek's on a 6-game win streak. And for a kid like Kabari, who I know can fill it up, is just a big time gamer, has some nastiness and toughness. I know that he's a key factor in that, and I'm just excited to see Kabari Lewis as a player, and it helps translate to some wins. And Side Creek, 6-game winning streak and rolling right now. They have a big one against Cy Fair coming up as well. So Kabari Lewis, strong built guard, 6'1", 6'2", can fill it up from all three levels. And at 8 a.m. on a Thursday in an empty arena gym, he can really get it going. And me and Matt both saw and can attest to that. So
he was the
Kabari
coffee.
Lewis is my guy.
It's not empty when Gasso's there.
I love it.
Baby.
I love it. The last guy I'm going to go with is Devion Wilson, Dallas South Oak Cliff, who, oh, by the way, is lingering. They just got a huge win over Dallas W.T. White. And just Coach May's 600 wins, don't count them out. But Devion is a really, really fun player to watch. He's just got this relentless, kind of attitude and this edge going about him. He makes plays, gets downhill. I saw him pop back up on my feed, and I was like, I really like that kid. And I saw what he did recently against Dallas W.T. White, and he just gets to the foul line, and he really guards, and he's really tough, and he's just one of the underrated kids in the state of Texas. And there's a ton of them, guys. There's a ton of kids like Devion that don't get the shine that they probably deserve. And it's just a testament to how good our state is at basketball, which is so fun to be a part of. Our roles are next level here at GASO.
Well, I'm going to jump back in here about Kenji because I just it's like breaking news. On to my tech feed here from Coach
Blue bomb.
Maxwell. The blue bomb here from about Kenji. His thoughts. The head coach at Cedar Creek there in Bastrop. He said that he can affect the game on both sides of the ball defensively, rebounding. He's going to drive the ball on the offensive side. He's shooting 38% from the 3-point line. And he's the spark that they need. And last night he says that he had 16. He sparked a 16-point comeback with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks. So, Coach Maxwell, thank you for that. Kind of perfect timing. So yeah, that's what I love about our job there in Mass is that the communication between us and the high school coach and how timely that was. So thank you.
Awesome. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Gasocast. We'll see you next week.